Okay, we're going to talk about how to use basic quizzes, and I'm over in the E-Day course to start off with one that's basically empty because mine has tons of questions in it. It may seem a little bit confusing. Quizzes are great for E-Day activities, by the way, because you can add both your content and your assessment in one simple link by using a Moodle quiz. So how do we add a quiz? First of all, we turn it on, and then we go to add an activity or resource, and we choose the quiz. So name again is what's going to be in the grade book, so I can say that would be self-assessment because I'm a we're going to say day 2 assessment. Sure, that sounds good. Now, when I talked about E-Days, and I said that you could give both the content and the assessment or the evaluation in the same area, that's what I'd put in description, and that's what I do with my E-Days. I add my text, my links, my videos, all in this area right here that they do before they start the quiz. So quiz is being used as a self-grading item. When I use that word, it can be a test, it can be any kind of assessment. So you can put anything in here in the description. So it might be as simple as something like that on the instructions, or it might be as much as watch this YouTube video, answer these questions. Okay, my video glitched there for a second. So I'm going to do this one. Answer the questions after watching this short video. And I've got a 4-minute video that the students are going to watch and then take the test. So I'm going to hit expand all so we can see the other options. Open the quiz, close the quiz. That's when they can take the quiz. So if I click here on open the quiz, that means it's going to show that date on their calendar that they've got a quiz on the 6th of March, and you can say as specific as my class starts at 9, so they can't get to it till 9 a.m. in my room. If you want to specify a time limit, which I said it was 25 minutes, so I'm going to give them 25 minutes once they enter the quiz. They can watch that video as many times as they want to, but once they enter the quiz, they've got 25 minutes. And by default it says opened attempts are submitted automatically. I would leave those things alone. If you want to say the quiz is closed later that day so nobody else can try to do it at night, I could say, okay, at 14:30 this quiz is closed because that's when the school day is over. I can do that as well. I don't usually use the close. I use the open the quiz. In grade, I say where this grade is going to go. There's no category here, so it's going to stay in not categorized for now until we add a category in this course. Skip the rest of this as far as grade to pass. That's for a completion activity. It has nothing to do with the grade in the course. Can they take it only once, or are you going to let them take it a bunch of times? Traditionally, it's once, but in some of my activities, I say they can take it, multiple times. But it's always, which way do you count the grade? Is it the highest grade, the average grade, the first attempt? I always say last attempt. If you keep taking it, that's the grade you've got. I don't want them to keep taking it to try to get 100 and then end up keeping the first grades they got. So that's mine. But you could leave it at 1 or whatever if you want to allow them to take it. Layout. I'm going to go ahead and hit show more. By default is a new page for every question, and free navigation means they can move around the quiz. They can go from number 1 to number 5. Sequential means they have to answer 1 and then go to 2 and then go to 3. So that's up to you. I leave it free and new page for every question, and that's why that's not showing anything. Question behavior, you can leave those in the review options alone. This means right when they submit it for the next 2 minutes, they can't see anything but what they put in as their grade, and then 2 minutes later, that's what later while the quiz is still open, they can see their attempt, their points, and their overall feedback. And then once the quiz is closed, they can see things, what was correct, what was wrong, what the right answer was. Obviously, if you're going to allow them to take it multiple times, you don't want to show them the right answer. They're only going to take it twice because you just told them all the right answers. Let's see, appearance. There's nothing to touch there. I will tell you, okay, so extra restrictions. By default, this restriction is there. And this restriction by saying 10.66 says you can only take it at National Trail. That's our range. If you want to be able to take it at home, just delete that. By default, it's there because it's easier to delete than to remember 10.66 dot. Password. I would highly recommend having a password, particularly if your students are taking it on more than one block. Otherwise, and I've had this happen before where my hardware class was in second and third block, I had a student that was in the library second block, had my class third block, walked in and said, I got 100 on your test. I took it while I was in the library. That was not a standard grade for that person, and I wasn't there when they took it. I don't know if they were cheating or not. I'm going to say they were. So I put a password now so that I have to give them the password in the classroom in order for them to take the test. You just click on there and put in whatever you want to as the password. If you forget it, you can always click the eyeball and it shows where the password is on your screen. You can even do that. And once everyone's starting it, you can change the password, keeping anybody else from getting in. Okay, so that's that. Enforced delay between first and second attempts and later attempts. So if up here I said you could take it unlimited number of times, then is there a delay? I can say that you can take it, but you can only take it every 10 minutes if I want to, like this. Or you could say you can retake it, but every 10 hours, 10 days, 10 weeks, you can do any of that stuff to make a delay between subsequent attempts. I don't know why there's one between first and second and a different number between all the other ones. I usually set it up exactly the same. And then this is just if you wanted to say something like, great job, when they're done, if they got a 90% or above. And that's what that's saying, 0% to 90%, they get that word in there. So, and so that's it. So I'm now going to hit save and display. I've set this up that's the name of the test. That's when they're going to be able to take the test. And I hit, because I got no questions in it, right? I hit save and display. And so now I've got this set up as a test that they're going to be able to take. Oop, feedback boundary must between 0 and 90%. I didn't put the percent sign there. I was wondering why that did that. I gotta put percent. Where's my percent? There we go. Go down to the bottom. Save and display. And that's what I should have got. So they're gonna see answer the questions after watching this short video. And there's my short video. And it says time limit's 25 minutes. And when they're ready, they're gonna have a button that says enter the quiz. But we want to edit the quiz, so we're gonna go and edit the quiz. And this is where quizzes become complicated. So I've got nothing in here. By the way, if I want to shuffle the questions for students, I hit shuffle, and that way every student gets them in a different order. If I don't click that, then they all get them in the exact same order. I will tell you I always click that. This is how many points they're going to get for the quiz. If it's a test and I want it to be worth 100 points, I can. I don't know what I just did there. 100. I can say it's worth 100 points now. I still have no questions in the test. So I'm going to add questions right here into the test. So I have when I hit add, I can add a new question, one from my question bank, which is over here, or if I say random question, it just picks any old question from my question bank and puts it in there. I don't do that, but you could. So I'm going to say a new question. So I have all these options on the kind of questions that I can put in here. We're not going over all these today. That would make it advanced. We're only going to go over a couple. The first one is multiple choice, and we're only going to go over one kind of multiple choice, and that is a multiple choice where there's only one correct answer. Multiple choice, multiple answer is an advanced question type. So multiple choice is the first one I'm going to go over there. So I'm going to add a multiple choice question. What's the question name? Nobody sees this but you. It's just so you can look on the list and know what it is. What is an SSD? And we'll try to spell a little better than that. Oh, doesn't even know I was trying to say what. Okay, but what they do see is this question text. Again, it's a Moodle block. I can put videos, pictures, anything I want to in there for the question itself. So, what does SSD stand for? That's an easy question. Okay, so My question goes here. Default points is the weighting of your questions. You can just leave it as 1. I do use default points. If it's a true false, it's default pointed at 1. If it's a multiple choice, it's default pointed at 2. So multiple choice are worth more than true false. If it's an essay, it's default pointed at 3. If it's a matching, but you don't have to do that because you can change those weights later. So there's my question. I don't give feedback. I go down here. We're doing one answer only multiple choice. And so here's choice number 1. This is a Moodle box. I can put graphics in there. I can put pictures in there. I can put videos in there. Put anything in there that I can put in Moodle. Okay. So I'm going to put the word solid state drive, and this is the correct answer. So the grade is 100%. All the other grades stay at none. A hard drive with platters. A floppy drive. Of course, that's not it. And let's see. And I'll put choice number 4 down here. And by the way, so choice is the answer. Feedback is what they see if you check that they should see feedback, and they answered that one. So you could say feedback is great job if you wanted to. And this poo-poo, whatever, that is not what a solid state is. I don't know if you want to. I don't use feedback. So you could have as many choices as you want to. In fact, as I go down here on here, if I run out, if 5 isn't enough, I can add more choices, and I can keep adding more choices. So you could have a multiple choice question with I've never run out. I've never had more than I need. So let me see. A flash drive. There we go. So only one can say 100%. You could have partial credit though. I could say this one's worth 50%. If you wanted to give partial credit for another one, you certainly could. And then I go down here and say save changes. So if it worked, it goes in there, and there's the question. If I want to preview it, that's what this little magnifying block is for, and it looks like that when they see it. What does SSD stand for? Solid state drive, yay! And if you want to make sure you put in the right thing, you can hit fill with correct answer, and it'll say, hey, this is what's they're supposed to put in there. So that's a multiple choice. And I said we're only going to do a couple kind of questions. So I'm going to add another question. And I'm going to add a new question, and I'm going to add a true-false question, and I'm going to say add, and it's the same way. You put in what you see, the text, and then down here you pick what, it's going to make me say something. Put what's the right answer. The correct answer is it true or false. That's all you have to do with the true-false question, and you hit save changes, and now if they were to take this question, they would have to put in false in order to get full points, because that's what it was in the drop down. So you can do for a basic quiz multiple choice and true or false questions. This is obviously a short one. I'm going to say it's only worth 10 points, and then I'm going to add one more. Oh, I said from the question bank, and those are the only 2 questions we have in the question bank. In the advanced, we're going to talk a little bit about the question bank itself, but we just wanted to show how to add questions and make the basic quiz. As soon as they submit, this is going to be graded. It's going to go in their grade book, and they're going to know exactly how they did. Again, a great way to do E-days, because not only did I give them the content, I gave them the assessment right there. They watch your videos, they answer your questions, and you got a grade in the grade book that they've done the assigned activity. That is basic. Took me 13.5 minutes. Quizzes, we'll do more advanced quizzes on the level 2 instruction.